poppin' B? Perpock here, and welcome back to another episode of Race the Ramen, the show where I attempt to review something unscripted in the amount of time it takes to boil an instant ramen. And today we'll be taking a look at Mickey 17, showing now in theaters. Alright, we're going to start the timer right now. Okay. So, Mickey 17. This is an odd movie for me to have to review, but I'll get to that in a second. For those of you who don't know what this movie is, haven't heard of it, Mickey 17 is a recently released dark comedy sci-fi movie based on a book and directed by Bong Joon Ho, who you may know as the director of Best Picture winner Parasite, as well as other movies like The Host, not the Stephenie Meyer one, the other one, Snowpiercer, Oakjaw, Memories of Murder, all great movies, none of which I have seen. Yes, this is in fact, as the kids say, my first Bong hit. I've seen bits and pieces of other Bong Joon Ho movies, but this is the first of his films I have watched in full, so I can't give the best perspective on how this compares to his other work, but based on the buzz I've been hearing from fans of his and general moviegoers, people seem to like this movie quite a bit, but not everyone can agree on it, and some people are saying it's one of his weaker works, but still not bad at all. A lot of mixed opinions, but generally positive, and I would say that I lean positive. I do have my problems with this movie, mostly minor ones, but I think that Mickey 17 is great. I think it's extremely entertaining. I think it's pretty intelligent in its writing. All of the performances are really good. Robert Pattinson, Mark Ruffalo, Toni Collette, everybody. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on that lead actress's name, the black lady. I don't know her from a lot of stuff, but she's fantastic in this. She gets a great story arc in this. She's like an interesting, kind of unique love interest, because this movie has romance going on in it among everything else. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, but for people who don't know the premise, again, Mickey 17 is a dark comedy sci-fi. The basic premise is that Robert Pattinson plays Mickey, this guy with like a funky, weird voice. The best funny little voice that Pattinson's done since probably Boy in the Heron, and God bless him for it. It's a huge part of the character, and it's delightful. Basically, him and his friend, Steven Yeun, are fleeing Earth from a loan shark, and a lot of people are leaving Earth too, because it's the future, and Earth kind of sucks. So he signs up to be an expendable, basically a person who can die over and over and then have their body reprinted and their memories re-uploaded into them like they're like a canary in a coal mine. And they use him on this space expedition to check for viruses in the air and test space radiation on him. And this is his unfortunate, shitty lot in life. But he's away from his troubles, and he finds a girl and falls in love, and things are okay, all things considered, until, mild spoilers if you haven't seen the trailer, Mickey 17 is presumed dead, but then comes back from a mission, and people have unknowingly printed Mickey 18 in his absence, assuming he was already dead, so now there's two Mickeys walking around, which is not a thing that's ever supposed to happen, and that creates its own set of problems, which tie back into the sort of overarching conflict on the ship, because you have this failed politician who's very Trump-coded, played by Mark Ruffalo. It really feels like him doing the most mocking impression of Donald Trump he could possibly do, and I'm not dragging him down for it. I think it's really funny. I've seen some people say that some of this satire might have hit a little stronger if this movie came out a bit sooner than it did. I don't know. I think it's just the right time, because I can laugh at it and cringe at it, because it's the horror of the reality we actually live in. It's a perfect balance, you see. But that's the thing about this movie. I don't know if I'd call it, in fact I wouldn't call it, I would not call it the smartest satire I've ever seen. It's kind of obvious in a lot of its messages, sometimes blunt. in both good ways and bad ways. I think that it's a comedy, social satire type of thing that will play to the cheap seats. Like, you won't have to think too hard to understand what this movie is trying to talk to you about. It's like late stage capitalism is crazy and it dehumanizes people, and we start to treat people very literally like resources. And aside from like the obvious, Trump connections with Mark Ruffalo's character, he also resembles a lot of other global politicians from around the world. And I don't know, it's dumb and obvious, but it's really fun and funny and heartful and soulful and entertaining. So at the end of the day, it's pretty good. Hopefully that gives you a decent impression of what I think of the movie. It's kind of a lot. Mickey 17 is in fact a lot. It's over 2 hours long, and it has a lot of characters, a lot of like little plot lines going on, and all this stuff, all for the sake of a plot that's not really hard to follow, and is saying quite a bit, but also feels like it could have been deeper, considering like just the depths they went to with this production. I mean, it's a $180 million movie with all this like high-end CGI and these great sets, and just like a pretty like cohesive, immersive, like complete feeling world. And I just want to know more about it, really. They could have dug a little deeper with certain parts of this. As it stands, though, it is a very relatable and timely satire and comedy for the modern day. It's got a lot of great body humor, like physical comedy, great performances. It's sweet, like the main romance between. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting her name again. Between Robert Pattinson and the lovely lady who steals the show whenever she's on screen. I'll put her name up again. Is just really sweet. There's a lot of stuff in here, a little bit of something for everybody. I don't think everyone's going to love it the same as everyone else. I can understand why this has been kind of a divisive movie with a high Rotten Tomatoes score, but not the highest. It is kind of an art for art's sake movie, and it's got me interested to watch the rest of Bong Joon Ho's work, because he's the first guy in history to win Best Picture at the Oscars as a non-English filmmaker. First man to ever accomplish this. Waits like 5 years, makes a $180 million sci-fi comedy, and also manages to thread the needle and do the impossible of making that kind of movie an intelligent, crowd-pleasing blockbuster under the nose of modern Warner Brothers. So that in itself is a fucking hat trick. And whether or not this makes money, I don't even know if I care that much, because the movie got made, people are liking it, and his career's gonna do fine. He's pretty much made it to the top anyway. So, yeah, if you're interested in checking this movie out in theaters, I'd say go for it. If you were on the fence and thinking you weren't sure, I'd say it's worth it. Maybe you'll feel it drags a bit, and there are, again, more intelligent, more biting satires than this. In some ways, it feels like a less cynical version of Terry Gilliam's Brazil, or like a grown-up version of like Pixar's WALL-E, something like that. Good and smart, but could be better, could be smarter. But as it stands, really, really good. I give Mickey 17 an 8 out of 10. I was really tempted to give it a 9, and maybe my opinion will change on rewatch, but I'd say most of the value I get from this movie is the sheer entertainment of it. And it has subtext and themes to chew on, but it's mostly the surface level that catches your attention. Not that the surface level is in itself shallow, it's a weird mix. It's like a smart, simple movie. I don't know how else to put it. An intelligent movie that like draws the line of how far it will go in each area so as to not overindulge in these topics, I guess. Draws that line and stays behind it. But that said, it's still better than a lot of other movies you can see right now, and just a lot of other movies in general, I guess. You just want a good story with some solid action and a well thought out plot line, some cool sci-fi critters, some comedy, some nice sets and acting, just a good plain old-fashioned movie with some cool stuff in it, then check out Mickey 17. It's easily one of the best movies I've seen this year so far. We'll see how it stacks up against the competition over time. It's still pretty early in the year, but yeah, good movie. Absolutely worth checking out. So yeah, my first Bong Joon Ho feature. My first Bong hit. I'm gonna need like 17 more of those.